Folks, welcome back to the College COD Western Playoff stream. My name is Seymour. Alongside me is Cruz. We're bringing you our last match of the night. Another qualifier, Texas State Esports versus the Westcliff Warriors. Number 14 versus number 9. Jesse, these are two teams that, honestly, I never would have expected to be in the winners qualifiers, but here we are.
I don't think if you wrote up a bracket, I don't think that anybody had these two teams playing each other in the upper finals, like to qualify in. I mean, I feel like everybody probably had Ottawa making it through. Texas State, I definitely had coming through this top side of the bracket as well. But I mean, I did not see Westcliff. So this matchup, it's pretty much out of thin air, it feels like right now. And these two teams, they were absolutely cooking earlier on today. Both teams coming off of Game 5 victories. Texas State's a reverse sweep in itself. So, I mean, they are both absolutely ready to go.
I think there's two different weights to it, though, Jesse. You got a Game 5 victory over the Longhorns for the Bobcats, and a Game 5 victory over the Ottawa Braves, the returning champions from 2021. And I'm pretty sure Westcliff Warriors are looking to ride that high all the way into the sunset. But before that, let's take a look at our head-to-head, Jesse. Let's run through the stats between these two teams and what we've seen throughout their seasons.
Yeah, absolutely. If you take a look at these head-to-heads, you're going to see right off the rip, 15-5 for Texas State, 17-3 for Westcliff Warriors. I mean, both teams have been very good throughout the season and very similar to our last series. If you kind of look down, plug and replace a number on one side or the other, almost identical records all the way through.
Yeah, exactly like we had on our first match of the night. It's crazy to see teams reflected, into the playoffs, Jesse, and match up against each other because, I mean, Texas State and Westcliff, they've been around the block against each other before. And now they're here again, but their stats still so identical. It goes to show, I mean, this playoff bracket, I mean, how tough the Western side of things have been.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it really does kind of go to show you that, like, really, you put anybody in this Western bracket, and realistically, any of our top 14 teams inside of the CCL could have made it out of this Western bracket from this side. I'd say even top 15, maybe even. Just like, it has been absolutely crazy. But like you said, these two teams, they have played before. They played all the way back in week 1, stage 2, where Westcliff was able to take the victory 3-1. Similar to our last series as well. It was also stage 1, week 1 of stage 2. So, like, it's almost a head-to-head, picture-in-picture of our last series. So who knows, we might get a similar outcome where the team that didn't win the last time was able to win this time. But it was a 3-1 victory for the Westcliff Warriors the last time through. They dominated the respawns, only lost the S&D, and the S&D loss was only a 6-5 loss. But Colin, let's not forget, though, the last time that these two teams played, Texas State was looking probably like the best Halo team at that time. So they're putting a ton of focus into that. Well, the Halo season's over, and now Texas State is here to play.
Taking a look at that Halo team, Jesse, or parts of it at least, we got our Texas State Esports Bobcats coming in at number 14. Tactic, Scripps, Draco, and Pandemic.
Yeah, very good team in their own rights. And I think the thing that's really kind of impressed me the most about this Texas State team since them kind of coming into these playoffs is the 4-0 control record inside of the playoffs right now. It just kind of goes to show you they're never out of a series, and we saw that inside of their last series when they were able to get a reverse sweep.
There's a little bit of momentum to go, and they took it all the way, Jesse. But you know what? They have a tough matchup. I mean, this team has already taken down Titans. They're looking to cement themselves into the land and really label themselves as a Titan inside their first season of the CCL. We got the Westcliff Warriors and a lot of talent residing inside that roster. Sitting at number 9 inside the CCL rankings, you got Locke, Stoners, Beeston, and Lucasi.
And they were cooking earlier. Westcliff came into that matchup against Ottawa. They took 2 hard points off Ottawa and then took a search and destroy to close things off. And their hard points have looked unreal so far through the playoffs. 6-1 record in hard point, 4-2 S&D, 3-2 in control. S&D in control not looking the hottest, but if they can keep taking 2 hard points a series and then just take one of the other 3 maps, they are going to be looking good here today to qualify for the CCL land. The 2 guys that I think we need to be keeping our eyes on the most right now, though, from that first series that we saw today, Colin, is Stoners and Beeston. Those 2 players just were tearing it up against Ottawa.
Really going to be keeping our eyes out for them, Jesse, throughout this series. But let's take a look at the setting for this best of 5 because our series is set in stone. And it's looking like it's going to be a long, grueling matchup between these two teams. We got Tuscan, Berlin, Tuscan, Bocage. And interestingly enough, we get a Bocage search and destroy where Westcliff just took down Ottawa on.
Yeah, so if we do go the full distance, Texas State's got to be looking at that last search and destroy. After seeing Westcliff just take that off of Ottawa in the fashion that they did, I don't know, one, how that map gets through, and two, how, I mean, if you're Texas State, I feel like you want to get this done before going to that final search and destroy.
It's one of those, like, where else do you go? You got a Desert Siege, maybe a Tuscan, but maybe you just didn't want to play them on those other maps, so you're going to Bocage, trusting in that Bocage, and you know what? Sometimes you just got to go to the caves to settle an argument. Right now, I mean, this argument, it is quite a large one. Who's going to make it to land? Who's going to join the Hilltoppers from the west? We got a best of 5 sitting between us, Jesse, and I couldn't be more excited to jump in with these two teams, especially because, I mean, Westcliff really a dark horse right now throughout the playoff bracket.
They really are. I mean, it's kind of weird because Westcliff, through the early portions of the season, everybody was like, oh, this team is the real deal. This team's the real deal. And then they started losing a couple matches. And I don't 100% remember if this is correct or not, but I feel like I remember hearing something about them having some team chemistry issues. There were some definite issues within the team, but they've clearly sorted them out for the playoffs here. They've just kind of put everything to the side and they've focused back in, and this team is looking better than they ever have. I mean, yes, they took one map off Ottawa through the regular season. Well, they took 3 off them inside of the postseason and kicked them down to the losers bracket. Now, Ottawa still very real chance that they're able to qualify their way through, but this is a very real opportunity for a very good Westcliff Warrior team right now.
And I'm glad I'm seeing it too, because you'd hate to go through this whole season looking like, I think they were labeled at one point the number 4 team in the CCL power rankings. You know, if you fall down to number 9, you don't want your legacy to end there. I mean, they pick things up, they patch it up, and going into the bracket, or at least into playoffs, they look like a brand new team to an extent. The same team that we labeled the number 4 team inside the CCL power rankings early on into the season, Jesse. So they're just picking up right where they left off. And when you're looking at the team against them, Texas State Esports, they haven't had the same season. Yes, they've had the same success in the season, you know, just over in a different game. Now they take those skills, they hone it into Vanguard, and this is a team that a lot of people are big fans of. You know, they've been around the block since Modern Warfare, and as soon as they hone their skills back into Vanguard, you can see that this is a team that's, I mean, dangerous, and, you know, you should have been looking at them as dangerous throughout the whole year.
Yeah, for sure. I think that there's been multiple times, honestly, throughout the season where Texas State was fairly high within the power rankings. I think they hit as high as 11th. No, 9th. I'm just looking at it now. So they hit as high as 9th in the power rankings themselves earlier in this season. So, I mean, this team has definitely not been a team that anybody has been shy of to be like, oh, yo, this Texas State team is the real deal. They're a very good team. I mean, Draco and Pandemic are very good. Tactic and Scripts complement them so well on this Texas State team. And like you said, I mean, they won a championship in Collegiate Halo. Now they've come over back to COD. They were able to kind of rein it in, kind of put their full focus back into Vanguard, and they're reaping the rewards of it. They have been playing much, much better. Now, I think going up against Westcliff in this series, I think the main focus for them is going to need to be taking a respawn, or not even just a respawn, a hard point off of Westcliff early on in this series. If you can come out, you can take this map number 1, instantly puts Westcliff on the back foot, because their best mode has been that hard point. So if you can put them on the back foot, make them a little bit more comfortable throughout the rest of the series, I think that's how you might be able to come out and be able to find success against Westcliff.
Especially when you can put a lot of confidence in your controls, Jesse. I think that really when you're Texas State, you're working around that. If you take a hard point, it's going to make that map number 3 even more comfortable if you are the Bobcats. So a lot's going to be on the line here between these two folks. We're just waiting to get them inside the lobby and ready to go. But as soon as we do, I mean, it's just the last match of the night. Jesse, one of these two teams is going to be going to land. If you had to put it on the board right now, I know you and I both guessed Texas State Esports were going to qualify for land, but do you think this is where they get it done?
I don't know, man. I really don't. I want to say yes, but call it. I feel like, I know I called you out earlier for having the kiss of death, but I feel like both of us, if Texas State loses this, I mean, this is going to be my, 5th team now that will drop to the losers bracket, because I technically had ICC. I plugged and replaced them out for Texas State. So realistically, for me and you not to be considered having the kiss of death here today, Texas State needs to win this for our sanity.
For our sanity. And if they lose it, I'm straight up, I'll say it right now, I'll have to probably write a formal letter to each of the school on why they didn't make it to the CCL land. And I just have to tell them it's all my fault. I'll have to own up to it. I don't want to, but I mean, it's gonna be what's gonna happen, because I feel bad, man. I mean, this has been quite the day for playoffs, but it doesn't end here, folks. Let's hop into map number 1. We got Tuscan Hardpoint on the menu. Why not open up with a bang? Script's going to find 2 with the nades. Draco 3rd. And you look at the Bobcats just flooding on in.
Locke was just sitting, trembling in fear. Where did my teammates go? Everybody falls. That's a great break off there from Texas State. Pre-nades over the top. Good gunfight wins, and already off to a 15-second lead here. Westcliff not even able to get near this hill to touch it yet because everything is just being pushed out by Texas State, and Scripps escapes with 4 HP.
Scripps on 3 in a row, looking for more. If he can turn these into streaks, it would be quite big. Finds 4th, it's going to be Beeson. Expects the next around the corner. 5 in a row from Scripps to open up the map. 21 seconds and counting. And when you're looking at the rotation now, only player number 1, Locke, is going to be there to spell trouble for the Bobcats. But the Warriors, they find his kills. If Locke does the job, I mean, this is going to be a good transition. Look at that. Locke, he pulls it over.
This is a transition that's absolutely needed, but Tactics in a great spot to play Spoiler. Will get spotted out immediately, though. Perfect rotation from Westcliff. Absolutely needed. They find all the kills on the rotation, and they secure those back spawns. Now Texas State's going to be playing on the back foot.
They even shut down Scripps, Jesse. 5-0 start, gone just like that. Warriors now set up to flip this lead here and now. Beeston shuts down the flank. All eyes on the front line. Block's going to push the aggression. Finds one at the Pandemic. Rat in. Goes for the pre-fire, but nobody answers the call. It's been solid so far from Westcliff in this hill number 2. Bobcats haven't really gotten a shot to touchdown, but it's going to be the start here. Scripps opens it up. The rest going to be following through. Tactic and Scripps open it up, and there's the break. 4 go down.
That's a perfect break. You do allow Westcliff to tie the game up by a little bit here. But the fact that you're able to break there just to kind of stagger their push, not allow them to find that full 60 on that hold, absolutely massive. You will still have around a 10-point lead at the end of the second hill now for Westcliff. But as we rotate over towards the Fountain Hill, you get 3 kills in the feed for Texas State. They get a nice looking setup here, but that's a massive kill down inside of the command center because now you have an opportunity for Westcliff to push that out and maybe flip these spawns.
We go punch for punch in the opening segments of this hardpoint, Jesse, but it's Texas State next up to secure some good time here inside the Fountain Hill. Get money heal with the setup that they have, and I'm pretty sure they know that. Warriors flooding on in through vines as we lock nice shots on a Pandemic to take them out of the hill. So far, so good. They're going to find 3 down. Last one standing is going to be Tactic. They know he's up here. Flies on out. We'll be able to take down Beeston, but how much more damage can you do? Not a whole lot, but it's enough to allow his team in, Jesse, and this is all you need. Draco dealing as much damage as he can. Scripps, can you find the last? Only 16 seconds to play for, and it looks like the Warriors have locked it down.
Yeah, scrap time should go the way of the Warriors here, and it absolutely looks like it will. You can see player number 7, Pandemic, putting a ton of focus on those back spawns. Will be a massive one-on-one on the outside of the tanks here. Locke is trying to make the play to find that back spawn. Now we get it on screen here. Pandemic, oh, he looked to the right just for a small bit of time. Will win out on that 1v1, and now close spawn secured for Texas State.
Scripps on a mission, but nobody going to be there. In control so far will be the Bobcats. All the Warriors flooding on in through the front. It's going to be Loncasi leading the way. He's going to find the first one. Beeson to follow up. Back and forth kill feed so far, but Warriors break on in for the moment. Texas State will still with the spawns. Pandemic is going to play Spoiler for a bit. Collecting this time, Westcliff boards this lead. Stoner's going to find a nice nade. Scripps gets caught on the flank, and all of a sudden, Draco, the only one here to make a move. But, I mean, how much can you do when 41 HP? Enough to break, I guess.
Absolutely enough to break, and gets the full regen in as well. Oh, I thought he was about to go and find a full 3-piece. Not going to be the case, but you know what this does do enough? It gives them enough time to get the scrap time. I thought so, but Lucasi makes one final hit at the hill. Will grab the scrap time for Westcliff. That's a big 10-second swing because that stops them from being able to tie the game up and actually allows Westcliff to walk into P4 with a 10-second lead, or a 20-second lead, I should say.
Once again, Bobcats are going to be the first one set up. Another nice nade from Stoners, Jesse. Pandemic set up on the window. He's going to be able to line up too. Draco, nice read on the Lucasi. He's going to close out 3 in a row down for the Bobcats. It's a full wipe from the Bobcats. Now they're in control of this hill. You get the close spawns of the Westcliff Warriors. Going to be right back into things, but you got to walk into Draco, and so far he's not missing. 3 in a row from Draco and his MP40, Jesse, and this time has been fantastic out of the Bobcats, but can they get the rest? Because Warriors, they line up again for one last reindeer hit. Tactic's going to be the only one here, and Lucasi's going to take him down.
And scrap time again, looking like it's going to go the way of Westcliff. They've been doing a really good job, especially the last 3 hills, of locking down scrap time. And the thing is they're more than okay to just play for scrap time and then play for a break, because they are getting the breaks early on a lot of these hills. It was just this P1 hill that we really didn't see Westcliff able to break inside of the first set of rotations. So we'll see how they try to adjust here going into the second set.
All eyes in the middle of the map. Westcliff looking for the break. Well, Lock now the only one here to make a move, and Pandemic won't allow him any closer to the point than that. Westcliff Warriors with the spawns on the left side of the minimap. They have to push into this hill number 1, break it, and then move on to flip these spawns if they want a good rotation over to P2, but at the moment, they're just taking it right to the front line. They're taking the fights head on. It's going to be 4 down for the Bobcats. Warriors residing in the hill now, holding on to this lead, Jesse. 133 to 121. Warriors, they're not done yet.
And there's the big change from the first set of rotations to now. They get the break, and now Lucasi looking to fly forward. Wants to secure these back spawns for the likes of the Westcliff Warriors. Can't win the back fight, though. So Pandemic, still a massive job to do here, though. 67 HP only. Needs to stay alive on this back tank. Needs to not allow Westcliff to pull these back spawns, because Westcliff in this last hill, the last time through, once they got these back spawns, they never looked back, but it's looking much better for Texas State on this set of rotations.
Westcliff Warriors not afraid of breaking hills so far. Overwhelming their opponents. It seems like it's the name of the game. Scripps inside the hill. Can he dance for long? Holding on for the point, holding on to the time. His teammates looking over him. Holding on to those power positions in general. You look at Tactic, he's on a mission. He's going to find Locke, holding off on these rotations, picking away at the numbers of the Westcliff Warriors. But as Beaston gets a little bit of traction, he's going to slide on in, finds 2. It's 2 the other way to keep numbers in favor of Texas State. And Pandemics, he's going to hop right back into this hill, Jesse. Look to grab the scrap time. But the job's not done just yet. Still some players around from Westcliff. Beaston and Lucasi around the hill. They're going to find the break.
And that's a massive break again from Westcliff. The back 20 seconds of scrap time will go the way of the Westcliff Warriors. They'll hold on to that 20-second lead that they were able to accumulate a little bit earlier on in this game. And this has got to be a scary sight now if you're Texas State. You have officially been broken on all 5 hills.
To hold off on this rotation once more. Bobcats setting up for Fountain. Look how far Warriors are so far. Stoner's going to drop, so should slow down this offense. And Pandemic still alive, top broken. Last remaining players from the Warriors flooding on the back. Beaston lining this up. Head on charge right into the lines of the Texas State Bobcats. And Beaston keeping things going for his team. Locke next up to the lineup. It's going to be Tactic inside of Vines, as now Texas State holding on from the front of the hill, Jesse, and you can see the full collapse coming from the Warriors. It's going to be 2 down. Locke leading him into this hill. Lucasi holding off in the time. Pandemic, he's going to drop as well. And that's a full break from Westcliff again over to P3.
And again, it's for scrap time. They just keeping this lead bigger and bigger off of scrap time alone. They're going to hold right around a 20-second lead. And honestly, if they just keep splitting hills like this, they'll walk away with the victory. So they're more than okay to just keep on focusing on just getting the scrap time. Now, looking over towards new, once again, Colin. Texas State Esports, first team inside of the hill. The Bobcats ready to go. But Westcliff, with the closer spawns, looking to break once again.
Will Lock 21 and 18, make it 22 on 3 in a row. Can he get number 4? No, Tactic's going to shut him down. Big win there right now. 1v1 at the point for Pandemic to hold on. It's going to be Beaston alongside him, and he can't get the job done. The Westcliff Warriors, they hold off the rotation, Jesse. They're going to eclipse the 200-point marker. Now with 33 seconds, they could get so close to putting this away, but a much-needed break from the Bobcats as they get right back into church.
So needed, and they need the scrap time too. They cannot allow Westcliff to come in and grab the last 20 seconds of scrap time here and hold a free 20-second lead any longer inside of this game. It looks like you can see Texas State putting a lot of focus on trying to hold on to these last couple seconds of hill time here. It's really going to be up to Scripps on whether or not they can, but no, they can't. So the back 10 will go once again over to Westcliff. They'll hold around a 15-second lead heading in towards our 5th and final hill of the second set of rotations. Still so much time on the game clock, so this one is 100% going to go down to who gets first.
Warriors again on the pinch. Scrubs finds one, slides out for the pre-fire, not going to land its mark. Down the stairs he goes. Has an idea there's going to be somebody down there as well, but it's going to be Tactic to clean up Stoners. Now all eyes on the front of the hill. Here comes the Warriors flooding on in. Locke leading the charge. Finds the first. Lucasi a second. In they go, and down go Bobcats. Westcliff Warriors now, they have a chance to put this one away. Only 30 seconds needed, Jesse, and Texas State now desperation is going to be on their mind.
need a flawless hold here. You can still close the game out if you are the Westcliff Warriors, but all those kills in the kill feed going red will surely put a stop to that. No, they still have the tick, I think, right now to be able to close this game out here. No, I think they're 1 second off now. The last contest came through to give it just enough, so all eyes need to be focused on going towards the new hill. Texas State will grab the scrap time. They'll also have 2 players set on rotation over towards new.
Pandemic's going to be in such a huge flank, but Locke shuts him down. Trapped over in the middle of the map's going to be the Warriors, but am I trapped with you or you trapped with me? The Warriors ask, and it looks like the answer is Westcliff Warriors winning the rotation over to P1. Now 6 seconds remaining. This is full desperation out of the Bobcats to get back into this hill. You're looking at them running on in. Draco finds his footing on the inside. You get 3 down. Beast in here to try to close things out in map number 1, but he's going to fall, and the Bobcats hold on.
Texas State gets a break. They can win the game here as well, but all Westcliff needs to do is find 1 break. You can see they're grouping up through the middle of the map. They've got 1 shot at trying to stop this win.
And they go. Lucasi leading the way. Stoners, Locke finding all the kills. It's going to be a 4 down, and in they go, Jesse. Westcliff Warriors, they win map number 1 with a big 250 to 237 win.
I mean, ask the team that got massive breaks all the way throughout the game to get 1 final break to win the game out here. They absolutely deliver once again, and I feel like watching that whole game, that was the story of it. Texas State, early rotations, get to every single hill before the likes of Westcliff, maybe outside of hill 2 on the first set of rotations where Westcliff was already up, what, like 40-0. Texas State answers back, or sorry, Westcliff answers back with a massive hold for 40 seconds of their own. They tie the game up, and then from that point on, they broke, got scrap time, and walked away with more time than the likes of Texas State on almost every single hill to be able to close the game out, or even just split hills once they got that 20-second lead, and they never looked back. That was break upon break upon break upon break, and just Texas State could not hold a hill to save their lives.
It makes you think that if Texas State could win 1 rotation, hold down those spawns, Jesse, and
hold 1 hill.
And hold the hill. That could be them walking away with the first map of this series, but Westcliff Warriors, they're just on another level when it comes to bullying their opponents inside the hard points, and they get it done. Well, it was a close one, and as we look at the scoreboard, you can really see nobody really standing out to me on falling behind, Jesse. I mean, everybody's showing up to the series. You can see how much they want it.
Yeah, you pretty much had, what, 3 players on Westcliff negative, but honestly, in a game that close, like, you really can't look at kills and be like, oh, if they found, like, a few more kills here and there, they would have won the game out. Like, it's such a tightly contested game. It really comes down to the teamwork at that point, right? Like, if Westcliff hold 1 hill, that game is massively different. They probably walk away with a victory there, but look at the damage from every single player in the lobby. Everybody damage. Everybody putting in the work that they need to have a decent game inside of that map number 1. And honestly, if the rest of this series stays as close to the 250 to 237 game, Colin, I am absolutely here for it.
As am I, Jesse. But this brings us into our map number 2. We're looking at Search and Destroy on Berlin once again. We saw this back in our first series of the day, and I'm glad we get to see this again, because when you're looking at 2 teams that are as fast-paced as these two, I think Berlin's a great setting for them to match up against each other, and I think that this is exactly where you want to be if you're the Bobcats looking to take down the Warriors and even up the series. Berlin is just, it's the map that I feel like is going to favor, you know, that fast-paced play style that we see out of the submachine guns.
It's definitely possible, right? I mean, both teams coming into this in terms of playoff records at 4-2. In Search and Destroy. Both teams coming off of Game 5 victories as well. Like you said, though, Westcliff's off of against Ottawa, so maybe a little bit more stagger to the amount of, potential from that win in terms of just looking at the overall of everything. But both teams have a very real opportunity to be able to come out and win this. I think the only thing that kind of scares me for Texas State is if they kind of focus on trying to get the bomb down at A little bit more with how easily Westcliff was breaking into every single hard point. I mean, it might be a little bit scary to try to hold on to some of these bomb sites just because of how much Westcliff was dominating in terms of breaks. So that's going to be something Texas State really needs to put a good focus on inside of this Search and Destroy, is just making sure once they get a solid setup, everybody's watching each other's backs, everybody's getting trades, so that they don't kind of fall into the same situation we saw inside of map number 1.
And I guess that's step number 1 on map 2, Jesse, is set up the post plant and hold the line on the post plant, because I mean, that can lead to so much on Berlin, especially, you know, A site for sure, but I'm thinking the B site, because if Westcliff are breaking that early or that easily back inside of a Tuscan hardpoint, you have to think that if somebody slips the line all the way into the back of warehouse, that B setup could be broken relatively simply as well.
Yeah, I think I was more so focusing A just because I really hope that if a team gets a solid setup at B, it won't get broken. I think A would be the easier site to be able to break into.
You're right.
But you're absolutely correct. If they are able to get players on the flank and into the right spots, you can still find a lot of success in trying to break into that B site. It's definitely not as easy as it is to break into A because you can set up so many different pinches and be able to break in from so many different angles. But there's definitely a very real potential if you can get the player outside of the back of the warehouse. You can absolutely find breaks onto B. We'll just have to see what we end up getting once we get into this one. But what we do know for sure, Westcliff up 1-0, looking to try to take a 2-0 lead here, looking to punch their ticket to the CCL LAN. I mean, this has been a crazy, crazy day so far, Colin.
Well, they've shown cheeky plays. They've shown sneaky plays. The Westcliff Warriors looking to go up 2-0 in the series. And starting off on an offense, you see Locke already with the bomb in hand. That's going to be a quick plant to be.
Oh, I don't know what Texas State's doing here. Just completely gives up the B site. Locke should be able to break these doors for free. Actually, just going to throw a grenade to break both of the doors.
Efficient.
Absolutely efficient. And you get to keep your gun up. You don't just have to punch them down in that spot.
Work smart, not hard.
I don't know how Texas State plans on retaking this.
Oh, even with a sniper in the hand of Tactic, it's just getting worse and worse the more I see. Draco's going to drop. Full setup for the Westcliff Warriors. Nobody on the flank for Texas State. Bobcats, they need to get something going. The Scripps and Pandemic are going to find two. So numbers in their hand, but 16 seconds. Somebody's got to make the move in the inside lock. Just waiting on screen. Tactic's going to slip on in. Doesn't see him. Hops to defuse right away. Stoners has eyes on. He just won the round.
And that's exactly why I was sitting there like, I don't know how they're going to retake this, because you still had Stoners set up in the back of warehouse. If you don't take that player out immediately, it makes that break so much harder to be able to do. They had a 3-1 advantage, and Stoners is still able to close that round out because he just punches a hole in the wall, takes down Pandemic on the bomb originally, and just closes it out. It's easy as that when you are playing a situation like that. Texas State, you cannot afford to give up a free bomb site like that on the B site.
Westcliff literally just stepped up into the attack, Jesse, and they're like, this is how you hold a site, by the way.
I think they just said, wow, the B bomb site's free. Let's put the bomb down and walk away with a round one victory. It's exactly what ends up happening. I'd be like, I just
once
can't
they
believe
approach the
how
others
free
the
that was. Yeah, for sure. I just still a little bit mind blown there, but we'll see what Texas State can answer with here. Draco finds first blood through middle of the map. It's going to be a little bit harder to get this bomb down at B, though. Locke slipped the line.
Tactic finds a second, so it's a 4v2. The Locke completely in enemy territory. He's going to find Tactic, looking to make it even worse. Lucasi evens it back up, and the A site no longer in favor of Texas State Esports. Everything has to go into this B setup.
Westcliff has just been so clutch here today. They do end up dropping, though, so it's going to be Lucasi all alone now in a 1 versus 2. The grenade will go down to break the doors again.
Just the meta.
It absolutely is the meta right now.
It's the new wave through in CCL or in Vanguard in general. Lucasi trying to find somebody. Anybody? Hello? Bobcats, where are you? Lucasi can't find a single thing. Nobody's showing an inch. He's finally going to spot Scripps, but taking so much damage on the cross. Works Scripps right into the grave. And Pandemic in a place to put this one away. He will find the shots, but what an effort out of that.
Yeah, it's a really tough spot to be in. But we see back-to-back rounds now where the bomb goes down at B. And because of the positioning that you're able to get a player in inside a back warehouse, once you blow those doors off and you put the bomb down in the right spot, very, very hard for a team to get it a fuse there. And we've seen both teams now do it effectively. I wonder if we keep seeing this meta of both teams kind of pushing the offense towards B, or if we start to see some site pushing over towards the A side. If we see a little bit of a change up between these two here, we'll just have to wait and find out as the game develops further up on. Lucasi will actually be sitting a deep corner towards the back of A just to watch the flank, but the bomb, once again, very much so wrapping over towards A. A beautiful first snipe, though, from Tactic.
Look, it looks like they're putting their trust in Tactic with that sniper to lock down B. Finds one, will be traded out, but the bomb now has to be recovered. You see now resources having to be invested just to get this bomb planted towards the B side. And take a look at the minimap, Jesse. Pandemic, he slipped all the way in. He's going to slide on through. Beeson doesn't even know what hit him. 3v2. Everything's going to be on Lucasi's flank right now. You can see he's all the way back in the spawn of those defenders. And he's going to be in a place where now he can stop everything. But Pandemic, he hops this. Will Lucasi get there in time? He has to check the bomb. Stoners is going to get rid of Pandemic, so now Lucasi just in a perfect position to get this round done. 22 seconds, just needs to stay alive. Stoners, another one to beat down on the scripts. 1v2, Draco all alone, and he's going to be caught out, standing still. Westcliff Warriors, they do it again.
I was right there with you. I thought that whole round was going to come down to Lucasi's flank, but no, apparently just Stoners is the defender of the B site. Sitting inside of the back of warehouse, through doors being closed, just shoots the perfect spot on the door, finds the defuse, knew exactly where that bomb was planted at. That's really good teamwork there, just to be able to get that done and find that last kill. Just put Stoners in the right opportunity to be able to close that round out. And they win it out once again there. We'll see what they can do this time through. It looks like Texas State are going to change it up a little bit. Bomb heading towards middle of the map, and Tactic looks like he wants to try to pick ahead.
Stoners, you better be careful. Tactic didn't see him.
Oh, he didn't see the head, yeah.
It's just the little sliver of noggin that's showing. He doesn't spot it at all, and Tactic, he thinks he has the middle of the map for free. Unfortunately, he will get a rude awakening. The bomb picked up by Pandemic once more. It seems like they really want this A side, Jesse.
They definitely do want to try to put this bomb down at A right now. Tactic has a really important job inside of this middle mail room right now of just trying to shut down any of the players on Westcliff. Wrapping over. Stoners will spot him out. And now you kind of leave the two players over here at A in a rough spot because putting this bomb down and holding it inside of A with just a two-man setup versus 4 players is extremely tough.
It seems like they're just confused. They don't know what to do. Texas State, they just look like a lost puppy. A stray cat rather than a bobcat. Pandemic lasts alive in 1v4, and you know, he finds 1 kill, but I mean, the job's already done for Westcliff. They just need to get the trade and get the round done. 3-1 they go as they pick apart Texas State.
These Westcliff Warriors today are just coming different. I have never seen Westcliff play with the amount of unity that we're seeing them play with right now, and it is honestly just a sight to watch at the moment. How well they're all playing off of each other, the breaks that they're getting, the first bloods that they're finding. Westcliff are just playing on a different level for the CCL playoffs, and it's something you absolutely love to see. They never would have beaten a team like Ottawa before without playing on a level like this, and now going up against Texas State, they're doing the exact same thing, just taking advantage of mistakes, getting the bomb down at the right times, and just holding on. And once again, a first blood for Lucasi.
Win right there for Lucasi.
No way he gets this down for free.
Bob getting planted. Lucasi now looking for another one. Flies on in. Pandemic. Little bit of a haymaker right to the noggin. Draco will find the trade, but again, the damage, it is well but over. Draco lasts alive in a 1v3. Looking to get something going for himself, but he's going to be caught rotating through the middle of the map, and the Warriors now 4-1 they go, Jesse. They are looking absolutely phenomenal. I mean, I guess there is a reason why this is the team that took down the Ottawa Braves.
Yeah, I mean, they're just playing with so much confidence, and you absolutely love to see it. Confidence is always key in terms of playing any video game against anybody else. If you feel confident that you can go out there and you can gun everybody on the other team, you will find more success just from playing more confidently. And you can see it right now. Westcliff, they feel like they are going to win just every single gunfight. This is a really important round here for Texas State. They need to get one back into their books just to keep themselves kind of inside of this game. But Locke finds first blood again through middle of the map. And look at this. So many players pinching onto it. Just Draco alive now.
One by one they fall, Jesse, and Warriors march on forward. They're looking to take their match point inside of this map number 2. All they need to do is knock down one remaining player. Draco, middle of the map. All attention going to be on him as soon as that information rings on through. Picks up the bomb, but there he is. Right in behind is going to be the Westcliff Warrior to take him down. Map point in map 2, Jesse. This is flawless so far, and I have not seen a single thing adjusted out of the Texas State Esports roster.
I mean, they tried to hit towards middle of the map this round, which was something they tried to do, like you called out. No adjustments. They've tried to do that same hit before. Westcliff completely ready for it, shuts down the push again. And now this Texas State team down 5-1 inside of the search and destroy. I mean, if they want to come back, it's obviously going to need to be now, but I don't even know what they need to change right now. That just seems so out of unison of playing together to be able to win out on a lot of these rounds. You will get a player in tactic inside of B to try to shut down this push from Westcliff that has been so successful. But again, Locke has just been a monster with first bloods. Now on 6 in a row, finds first blood again inside of the round.
Seems like the stress is getting to them right now. come a long way through the playoffs, but right now, Warriors looking to knock you down. Locke will be tagged down to 9 HP, still stays alive. In fact, he wants to cook a nade. Leave it right on the doorstep of Draco. Won't hit its mark, but still numbers in the hands of Westcliff Warriors. They have the recipe for the round, and this wrap's going to be so big. Player number 8, Scripps, in no position to shut this down. He's on the opposite side of the walls, Jesse, so he's going to have to make a flank soon and at least find one, maybe even two.
The big thing is the Scripps didn't even see any one of these players cross. At some point, if you're Texas State, you got to be like, where are they at? Nobody's putting this pushing towards B to try to put this bomb down. Now they'll know. Bomb goes down over at A. Scripps opens the door, finds a present on the other side, and now a 2v4.
Bomb goes down. Has to be an immaculate retake right now from the Bobcats. Tactical going to lead the charge. If you can find a pick, you can find an opening. Nobody throwing a shoulder at all for the Warriors. They know what they need to do. Stoner's on the off angle. He's going to spot Draco out, take him down. Now Tactic last alive. The shots to the wall going to take him out of this game and lead the Westcliff Warriors to a map 2 victory as they lead 2-0 in the series.
It's absolutely insane. Westcliff are just playing on another level. I know I said it earlier on inside of this map, but just some crazy stuff coming out of the boys on Westcliff. And it was Stoners and Easton who really popped off inside of the last series against Ottawa, but now Locke as well. I mean, how many first bloods did he find throughout that game? I'm sure we'll see the stats come up in a second, but not always as accurate as we would want them to be for those end of game stats. But Locke was on another level. I at least had to have found 3 first bloods towards the end of that game. Just really, really good stuff out of Locke. And Texas State had 0 answer from round 1 against the Westcliff Warriors inside of that map.
Honestly, Jesse, they looked a little frustrated throughout the whole search and destroy. They couldn't get anything going. They kept on doing the same thing over and over again. And I think it might be either stress, frustration, something is agitating these Bobcats, and they need to find an answer soon. I mean, they've already had 1 reverse sweep, and now they need to do it all over again. We take a look at these stats, though, for that search and destroy. What's poking out to you, bud?
Well, I think the stats are actually fixed. I don't know when that patch came through, but Locke did have 3 first bloods indeed, and most of those were definitely towards the end of the game there. I mean, 7 rounds, 3 first bloods, cannot complain about that. You only had 2 first bloods in total on the side of Texas State, and one of those was the round that they were able to take the victory in on their offense. Outside of that, and actually, Colin, now that I think about it too, Westcliff took 5 straight rounds to close that game out after going 1-1 to start the game off. Just an unreal performance from them. And also, the other thing I'm seeing from Westcliff is no player is popping off individually like crazy. You're just getting a super well-rounded effort from every single person on this Westcliff Warrior team right now.
And Stoner's 1,000 damage, almost 1,100 damage, Jesse, to round out that game number 2. Big things coming out of himself. 6 kill streak for himself as well. So yeah, no pop-off moments from Westcliff Warriors. They're all stepping up to the plates. They look fantastic inside the search and destroy, inside the hard point as well. And most importantly for their team and for their organization, they look fantastic through the playoffs, Jesse. Only 1 map needed to punch their ticket into the LAN over in Ohio. We're going to head to a break. When we come back, we're going to have a control. Welcome back to the College Con Western Playoffs. My name is Seymour. Alongside me is Jesse. We're potentially one map away from crowning another qualified LAN participant as Westcliff Warriors lead 2-0 over the Texas State Bobcats. Jesse, I mean, we've been in the series before, in the same situation before. I mean, at least for the Bobcats, they were here last match inside the playoffs. But do they have the gas? Do they have what it takes to do a second reverse sweep?
All I'm going to say is this team has been the best control team so far throughout all of the CCL playoffs, right? 4-0, yet to drop a control. If there was ever an opportunity for them to start a reverse sweep, it's right here, right? They get a Tuscan control. They absolutely have an opportunity now to come out and take this map, and it could very possibly start a reverse sweep here. We get double bocage later on, which are absolutely crazy maps that could go either way. Although we did see Westcliff very good on the bocage search and destroy earlier. So even if it goes there, there's no guarantee that Texas State can finish the reverse sweep. But they need to start somewhere, and going to a control next is a great place for this team to start because they've looked really, really good on control so far throughout a lot of the postseason.
And I mean, I guess there's a few things you can talk about going through the rest of the back half of the series. I mean, that the podcast can work on, but ultimately when you get to that game 5, I mean, that 6-1 loss on Search and Destroy you just had, it's a painful one. And
it's gonna
be sitting in your head for that game number 5. So this next 2 games that you're getting out of Texas State Esports, if they want to make the reverse sweep, these have to be 2 very, very convincing wins coming their way. And realistically, they could do it inside the control. I mean, like you say, they're one of the best teams in the control for the playoffs. The only thing is that Search and Destroy in map 1 was so scrappy, and Warriors, they always came out on top when it was scrappy. Going to a bocage, is that really where you want to be?
Yeah, it's tough, right? But I don't know. I feel like maybe Texas State has more of an opportunity to be able to break back into some more hills when they go towards the bocage hardpoint, but they got to get to there first, right? So it's a good question, though. I mean, I don't know if a more scrappy map will favor Texas State. I think that there's a very real opportunity that, you know what, they lost map number 1. They couldn't get a hold. Maybe if they find one solid hold on bocage, give them that a little bit of a lead that we saw inside of our first series today. That once I can't remember the names now off the top of my head. Once it was SEU that got a 40-point lead on bocage. They were able to just hold it all the way through. So you never know, right? You get a tiny little lead. There's always a real opportunity to be able to come away with it, but we got to get there first. And to get there, Texas State will need to win out on a control, and they have been sublime so far through control. 4-0 inside of the playoffs, like I said. This needs to be where they turn their winners bracket around.
Folks, if you're just tuning in, Westcliff Warriors up 2-0, looking to join St. Edwards from the West inside of the LAN coming up for the end of the CCL year. All they need to do is find one more map. They're starting off on defense too, Jesse, so a lot right now coming out in favor of Westcliff. Looking for the retake here. Stoners and Lock, they find 2. Second tick will be cemented, but now flooding on in. Tactic all alone. Can he find anything? No, he can't.
And instantly the transition for Texas State here, all running right over towards B. You've already got a player on it. Might be able to get a 2-stack in as well. Beaston's in a great spot to shut things down, though. So these players now essentially just trapped. They'll all end up falling. And you've got a pretty good wide map spread as well for Westcliff that they can just fly out and try to pin you in the back of your spawn. Now, a 6 life lead already for the defense.
They control the A zone, Jesse, and they put a plug over towards B, so Westcliff Warriors right now, they are riding a high. It cannot be stopped. Bobcats are looking for the answer, and there it is. 3 goes down. Stoners, can he live into the A zone any longer? No, he's going to be run over by Pandemic, who completely lights up the feed with 4 in a row, looking to put away this A zone. Will the rest of his team off respawn join him? It should be the A zone gone.
Yeah, it's just Pandemic here. On 4 in a row, will finish off that A zone. But you still have a 6 life lead for Westcliff. That's a great place to start, especially on defense. Usually you go into defense, and having to hold on to this B site already down in lives, being up 6 lives already, surely puts you in the driver's seat.
Look at this. Full frontal attack right onto the Gone, heading to back. Stoners gets lit up. Lock luckily there for the trade. It's going to be a 3-on-3. And look at this. Player number 8, Stoners, coming on the flank. He's going to find Scripps. Now, Tactic really stuck in a very unfortunate situation. You need your teammates on spawn to come help you out. Nade's not going to hit, so Tactic will be able to stay alive. And Tactic making the best of a bad situation. 3 go down. Now it can really put a spoil to this round, Jesse.
Yeah, you might have been in the driver's seat if you were Westcliff, but now absolutely seeing Texas State taking full control here. Hopping onto the B zone. Tactic still very much so alive, but it turns out that they don't even care about Tactic in the back. They said, hey, you know what, you want to keep killing us off of that head glitch? Good for you. We'll make the wrap through middle. We'll drop all your teammates dead. And now Tactic trying to stay alive in the back, just waiting for more teammates to come off spawn. At least they've gotten the lives back into their a little bit, but you're still down 4 here.
See this punish team so much with the Tactics positioning. He's going to get cleaned up by Stoners with the help of Beeson, who tagged him down early. They clean up the crew on the offense right away, and now Warriors in a position where this round should be a shoo-in. 14-9 in lives, 30 seconds left. Texas State Esports, one comfortable push left in them. Gonna get this one going. Tactic, Pandemic leading the charge. They're gonna find a kill, overwhelm Patio. Lucasi for the trades, 3-on-3. Draco, Pandemic into the hill they go. 4 go down now. This is where you need to find the round.
This is your opportunity. You got to be able to dodge grenades, though. I'm sure a lot of them are about to be coming in from Westcliff. It prevents the stack from being able to come through, and lock up at the top is in a really annoying spot to shut things down.
Beeson slides in. Stoners finds 2. He just lines them up. Beeson doesn't even take a swing into that hill. His teammates turn up so well. Now Locke, we're going to spoil the rotation. Pandemic does spot him out. There is an opening here to work with if you are the Bobcats. Just 1 second to make it happen. Can anybody touch? You're going to get in. 0.8 seconds. All you need is 1 kill if you're Stoners, and you can put an end to this round. Scripps are going to fall. Draco, he drops as well, and as the rest of the Bobcats tumble on forward, it's going to be the Warriors to clean them up, Jesse, for a round 1 win.
Oh, that was very close. Through that round 1, I believe you got a 4-kill lead if you're Westcliff, and only 4 ticks of progression end up coming through for Texas State throughout that round there. They definitely brought it back, and they put up a good fight towards the end of that round, but they just not enough. Again, it feels like Texas State gets close in a lot of these respawns, Colin, but Westcliff just throws the hammer down and just shuts it down completely. I mean, just look at the 2 players again in Locke and Stoners. 11-6, 11-8 inside of round number 1. Just ridiculous numbers.
Ridiculous. On the attack now. Costa's going to slide into the A-zone. Pandemic. Hit and run. Somebody call the cop. Sometimes it's just looking absolutely criminal what the Warriors are doing inside the series. If you're the Bobcats, you need an answer back. Lucasi holding the line for 2. As he cuts down the rotation to the middle of the map now, everything's going to be on Tactic for this flank to try to slip on in. He will be able to take 2 off the respawn. Forces Lucasi into a situation where he has to back up, and being shot at from both ends. Scripps will shut him down. That's going to be it for the Warriors' attack towards A. Now, you can see those respawns as well as Beeston working their way to B.
You need to win this round. If you're Texas State, you can't go down 2-0 the way that this series has gone. Westcliff not making mistakes, now hopping on to B. They're going to be able to secure at least 1 tick of progress over here. Might even be able to get more because they do have a bit of a stack coming in, and Locke also watching from the top. It's all going to be about this flank from Draco.
He finds 1, finds a second. Nice shots on the Beast, and now Lucasi will cement that second take. In comes the rest of them, and they will clean up that offense towards B, Jesse, but you can already see Westcliff Warriors working their way to A, and Stoners lighting up the feed from Bunks. He's going to line up Scripps and Tactic, and that should be the A zone relatively set up here for the Westcliff Warriors.
I think they do only have 1 or maybe 2 players touching it right now to be able to try to finish this off. So realistically, Draco's in a spot where he could try to shut this down again, but the A tick will go through. 5 ticks of progress, completely secured, and now you have 1:50 seconds left. Because what Westcliff did so well early on in that round was when they were on A, they were on B. When they weren't on B, they were on A. So the clock really never went down, and now you've got 2 minutes to get 1 tick of progression at B.
Big shutdown there from Scripps. Pandemic doubles down. Rossi's going to join the mix, but now he's all alone, Jesse, and automatically you can see the Bobcats rotating to take care of him. He will drop to Draco, and now this is the chance for the Bobcats to set up some very forward aggression.
Tactics trying to drop them down. Will find Stoners up in the top. Can't do anything more than that, but it does enough just to stagger the push here again. You need to now wait if you're Westcliff for the rest of your players to come off spawn. Down to only 9 lives remaining. Can't really afford to throw any lives away here without having backup from the remainder of your teammates.
Draco on a very cheeky angle right here. Can anybody get cut down? Shot's not going to ring out. Doesn't even see them. Locke's going to jump on forward. Still Draco now not going to take him down. Westcliff looking for their way in, but a barrage of nades going to keep them back. Scripps looking to make a play. Will take down Beeson. A trade's going to be up for Stoners. Here come the rest of the Warriors. It's a 2-for-2. On the inside, you're looking at the rest of the Bobcats to hold their own, but Lucasi is hunting right now, Jesse. And he's on a mission to take control. And 30 seconds left. 9 lives to 7 in favor of Texas State. Stoners is working the flank, but will he make it past the player in church? He will. Draco goes down. 2 go down now for the Bobcats. It's a full 3 in a row. Last one standing is Scripps, and that's going to be the Warriors touching down. They stack the site, and that's going to be the second round under control. Westcliff Warriors, they are in full control.
Westcliff is tearing it up right now. They clutch up on the first defense, close it out. That offense looked seamless. A fantastic round out of Westcliff there, and I know I'm gassing them up a lot tonight. But the play that I am seeing from the boys on Westcliff right now has just been absolutely unreal. Texas State will now need to reverse sweep of control into a reverse sweep of the series if they want to make it to LAN. Way easier said than done, but they reverse swept before. I'm sure that's still sitting in the back of the mind that they can do it here. But Westcliff has just been a different beast tonight.
And they reverse sweep to reverse sweep, Jesse. That's the big question. As the Warriors running over their opposition. It's a full 3 down. Pandemic, the only one close to the zone to allow his teammates back in. Contention's going to be out. Clock stopped at a minute 14. Lucasi for the pre-fire, not going to be there. Immediately hops out. He's trying to play his life. Second tick should be imminent, and it will be cemented. You're looking at the flank from player number 7, as well as Lucasi to slip on in. Third take should be here. Contention won't be in. Warriors, they let it go, Jesse.
Oh, and Lucasi gets shut down. He was on 6 in a row. Ends up falling before being able to find the 7th. So that's a big kill from Texas State. Not only do you finish off A, you also stop the streaks that probably would have been the nail in the coffin. But you get that done at the very least. But again, on defense, Westcliff have a 5-life lead going into trying to hold on to B. It worked out so well for them in the last round, having this massive life lead.
Wow. Texas State either worked their way around. Tactic wants to take control of that Godhead. What he was set up and poised to take the round in last go around. Westcliff take it back. Scripps is going to drop as well. Pandemic drops into the hill, but can he stay alive? Finds one of the Lucasi, slides up towards the patio. Going to maintain his life inside the enemy zone, but tagged down to 61 HP, and you imagine he should drop soon. Somehow still alive. Finds a kill into Lucasi. One-man army at the moment. You need something out of your teammates if you're Scripps, but you can't get anything at all.
You were bringing it back in terms of numbers as well, but now Westcliff, they find a few kills. They look to fly forward to try to pin you in the back of your spawn, but it's only a 3-life lead. Draco pushed very far forward right now in terms of where the rest of the Texas State players are. Trying to just see if he can find a few picks off spawn of these Westcliff players. I think he might need to turn around, though, and try to help his team out, and he will. He'll turn around. Pandemic will still be able to find the first. They find a second as well. This is your opportunity now to get into the zone.
Surging on forward. Draco finds 2. He's got 3 in a row now. Set up in a power position that
watch
can really
Lucasi on the flank.
Put this right away, but you call it yourself. Lucasi's going to be there, but who cares when Locke is throwing bombs like that? Hook, line, and sinker solidifies another hold.
Not again. Not another 3-piece with a grenade to shut down an offensive round. 8 lives left for Texas State. You probably have 1 solid shot at trying to break inside of this hill again with 20 seconds remaining.
I want to say he looks like Kobe, but he looks more like Thresh right now with that throw. Now a chance to put it away. 15 seconds left. Last chance for the Bobcats to keep this one going. Tax is going to hop in the hill. Locke removes him. Second one's going to be lined up. It's 3 down again. 8 seconds remaining, Jesse. And the Westcliff Warriors, they may be punching their ticket to LAN. Only a few more seconds left. Get your broms out again, folks, because the Westcliff Warriors are going to Ohio.
Wow. Westcliff, I mean, the team that early in the season, very, very highly rated. Come the middle of the season, it felt like they were taking a couple steps back, but right now, this team has hit a new form today. Massive victory earlier on today, inside of the upper portion of the winner's bracket. They take down the Ottawa Braves 3-2. They just took all of that momentum, rolled it into the series against the Texas State Esports team. And I mean, they didn't put a foot wrong this entire series, it felt like. I mean, that map number 1, yes, it was a 13-point game win for Westcliff, but a 13-point game win that they were just so solid all the way through. And then a 6-1 3-0. I mean, they're going to land, and they absolutely deserve it.
100%. You take down the Braves and you do this to the Bobcats. I mean, this Westcliff Warriors roster, who throughout the middle of Stage 2, Jesse, they were having some roster problems as well. They fix it, they patch it up, and now they're going to land. I'm just as shocked as you are in this whole situation. And you know what? I think you and I are going to have to write some formal apologies to these schools. Because
yes, sir.
We kind of caster cursed them. And I will admit to that right now.
Yeah, if you're just joining the broadcast right now, then you do not know this. Or if you guys didn't see the tweet, I should say, earlier in the week, saying that what mine and Colin's picks were coming into today. Well, both of us now, all 4 of our picks are either eliminated or in the loser's bracket. I didn't have Westcliff going through. I did not have St. Edward's going through. My apologies. I'll make an open statement and apologies now to these 2 teams, because 100% deserve for both of them to make it through to the land. Both from winners as well, not expected for me especially. So, I mean, a crazy, crazy game out of Westcliff to come through. SEU makes a massive improvements as well to make it through.
Sure.
And this land is going to be absolutely insane, Colin.
I'm so excited. I mean, it has been a long time coming to make it happen, and it looks like teams are showing up exactly when they need to. Let's take one last look at the maps and modes for this series just to close off on this